I'm good. I'm good now. Just
Yeah, yeah,
wait
yeah.
it out for a second. Okay, so now who do I have the pleasure of speaking with?
Yeah, so my full name is Dimitar Tsaprev, but my short name, like everybody calls me Mitko. This is how Bulgarian names work for some reason. So this is my short name, it's Mitko, and I'm the CEO of Dreamteck. I'm also the creative director of Lifeslide. So yeah,
CEO of Dreamteck. So let me ask, and it's Mitko. Did I get that right?
yeah.
All right, Mitko. I'm Nick Moses 05 from Nick Moses 05 Gaming Podcast. I was waiting. You're my first interview, so I'm just overly excited, Mitko. So CEO, where did this all start? Like, where did you begin being CEO? Was this something you started that you took over? How did the journey begin? Kind of fill me in.
Yeah, it all started in 2016. And oh, somebody is in the waiting room. Do you mind if I admit
Oh,
them?
do your
And
thing. Do your thing.
yeah, okay. And I'm just gonna continue from there. So it all started in 2016 as a university project for my university diploma, and I started working on a prototype of a flying game. So as I worked and worked, it kind of got better and better. And after I graduated from university, me and a friend of mine continued working on this game, and it slowly shaped into what it is today. But not before we went through all sorts of crazy stuff. Like first we were just the two of us, then there was a third guy, and hello to yeah, I'm not sure who is this, but you're muted. But yeah, anytime you would like to, you can unmute yourself and join the conversation. So it was then three of us, but the third guy, yeah, he was not like full time working. He had another job, so it was really, really like the progress was going slowly. And we started out the project thinking that, oh, this is gonna be like 6 months in and out, quick project, and yeah, it's just gonna go really fast, and we're gonna ditch it. And then, well, 5 years later, we're still not done with the game. And in 2019, Apple came along, and we were able to release it for their upcoming back then platform, Apple Arcade. And this is what actually allowed our team to grow and to actually shape the game into what it is today. So we released on Apple Arcades, and after that, we released several sequential updates on the platform. We're also still updating it for Apple Arcade, but we've been also working very hard to port it to Steam right now. And we don't just want to port it over to Steam. We want to improve the experience. We want to make sure that it's actually a proper PC game, like not only just graphics and content wise, but user experience, user interface, all sorts of things, gameplay, everything. We are trying to fine tune, refine, and improve, and we're adding more content to it. We have redesigned several of the levels, 8 or 9 to be exact. I'm still not exact, but yeah, I think 9 levels we redesigned, and yeah. So basically, we're just not just translating a mobile game into PC. We're trying to make it a proper PC experience, leveraging the PC performance, and yeah.
Okay. So you started with, you said you and your friend. And then now you said team. So how
Yeah.
many members total right now at Dreamtech?
So right now we are 8 people. We have dedicated developer. We have a level designer. We have our, art director. We have 2 artists. We have uh, QA, and we have studio assistant who is helping us with so many things. Like right now, she's doing public relations and marketing, but back then she started with project management. She's doing administrative stuff, things like that.
Okay. So at the beginning, I heard you mention a challenge like, hey, we're going to be 6 months in, we're going to be right out.
Yeah.
What do you think was the hardest thing along that extended the time of development?
I'd say we were so inexperienced, so we just could not estimate it properly. It was a very ambitious project from the beginning. I just never realized it, and at some point I was like, yeah, of course. What was I thinking? Like, yeah. At one point, maybe like 4 years in, like last year, maybe, yeah, last year or like Christmas around 2019. Yeah, around Christmas 2019, I saw one of the first prototypes, and I was like, okay, now I understand what took so long. We have improved this project so much along the way, and we have added so many things. And yeah, so this is kind of it.
No, that was a great answer, man. Like I said, I'm so excited. So I just got so many questions. So apologize. I just go through so much. But you mentioned getting with Apple. Um, how big was that? And when that process started, was it a long process in communication with Apple, or was this something that once Apple kind of got wind of the idea and seen it, it was something that they were interested in from the jump? Kind of fill me in on how that goes. Not too sure on that.
Yeah, so we reached out to Apple through a publisher. We're working with these guys called Block Zero. They are they are working with Apple, so they kind of pitched the game to them. It wasn't us, and from what I know, it went smoothly. There, they Apple were like, yeah, it sounds like a cool original idea, and this is exactly what we need for our platform. And yeah, so it kind of went well, I think. At least that's what I've been told. And yeah, making the game for Apple was actually very challenging. Nobody in the studio has had any previous experience with Apple devices, so we had to learn to use everything Apple, and there was like a lot of differences between Apple development and Windows development, and I'm still like really not entirely sure what I'm doing when I'm developing for Apple. But yeah, it's been a long process, and Apple's approval process when they review software is like very strict, obviously, and it is very challenging to get each milestone done and get reviewed and approved for the Apple Arcade Store. But yeah, this is because they have like their own quality assurance and their standards that we have to meet. And having not developed for Apple before, we were like, oh man, we're way in over our heads with this one. But yeah, I think we kind of got the hang of it, and we're actually waiting for an update right now on the Apple Arcade.
Nice. And I wouldn't just say, just looking at it for me now, just give you a little background on me, born in 83. I'm 38 years old. I'm an old man. Okay. And I love everything from, platformers to simulation games, not so much. But I seen this and immediately I love the awe, just kind of look. But one thing I want to ask, as far as sounds, who handles the sounds? The paper plane and the actual paper. Was that someone actually shaking a paper? Like, tell me about these sounds. How did that go? Who handled that?
Yeah. So let me just try to, if I can get my lighting going, because I think I'm very dark right now.
No.
Maybe this is better. Maybe
Nice.
it's not. I don't know.
No, you're good.
So yeah. So we had a lot of struggles with the paper plane sounds. We have a dedicated paper plane designer. No, it's a sound designer, but might as well be a paper plane designer, because he did a lot of trial and error with the paper plane sounds. I know he tried to record all sorts of paper, but yeah, he literally shook paper in front of microphones. Then he edited it, and then we have this system built in for Unity, which kind of allows us to intuitively blend sound files. So we created several sound files, and based on momentum and pressure inside the game, based on tension in the wings, we kind of blend different paper sounds that are shaking. So like we have like just a little light shake, then we have like more intense shake, and then we kind of blend between these sound loops, and this is how kind of the whole thing happens. And so yeah, the sound design was actually a journey, and it is done by a guy who sorry, it's done by a guy who had never almost never done video game sounds before. Like he was working on sounds for slot machines and things like that, and that was something he was super eager to get into, and I think it shows. His dedication was like super nice, and yeah, he was
Hi,
very driven to make it.
they hear me ready?
Hey, yeah, we can hear you.
Yes.
Okay, sorry. I'm Camina from Mexico.
Hello.
Hey.
Hello. I was hearing the interview, so I don't want to interrupt you.
Interrupt.
But
Interrupt. It is not a personal interview. You have any time to jump in. I am just taking it in all. So please take the floor.
okay, thank you very much. I have a question. I was watching the videos. Can the reflexive factor in the game be used for hard days in the real life? Because it seems so relaxing watching the video. So if I have a really hard day, this game can work to be relaxing.
Yeah, you can get you can play Lifeslide to relax after a hard day at work. Actually, a lot of people have been giving us this exact same feedback. They were like, "Yeah, I've been having a hard day at work, lots of bad news, stuff like that." And then I kind of played this game, and I was like, "Ah, yeah, I'm feeling well." And this was actually one of our goals here. I wanted to give people something that makes them feel well.
Yeah,
It's not only a relaxing experience. There is also challenge, and there is also excitement. So there's kind of a good blend between those things. It's not just like an ambient experience. So not like Abzu or Flower. It has more
okay.
challenge. Yeah, but
I
yeah.
ha I have to try it because, for example, I'm hardcore player and professional player from another game. So in the game of game, I plays a few games. So I have to wait like 20 minutes, 20 minutes to have a game
Hmm.
because every time you reach a goal, you have a hard time to find a game. So I was watching this game. I was saying, "Oh, I want to play." In the time I waiting for the another game because it's so relaxing, so beautiful. Really,
Thank you.
I like it too much. So that's why I don't was talking about because I was here. What do you express about your game, the goals, the things with Apple, and congrats, dude.
Thank you. Thank you.
No, that is major, man. And that's how I'm feeling like him. And I'm not going to lie. He mentioned about, the Zenfield. And I do. I'm not going to lie. Have not played it. I've watched many different videos. I do get the Zenfield. But one thing I haven't played it. Can you explain how difficult it is when you get to these harder difficulties? Because I was seeing some of them, and it looked like they could barely even move as they were trying to control this thing. So how difficult is these levels? If you're starting off from a 0 being the easiest, 10 being the hardest, is this something you can learn a 10 very fast, or is it going to take you some time to get to a 10?
So the game has a very specific flight mechanic, which you have to kind of understand. Once you do, then the game it becomes a lot easier. But yeah, it's I'd say it's a 5.
Okay.
It's not something super hard. You just have to kind of understand the game mechanic. It's a very simple mechanic. You have just 4 directional controls, like you got down, up, left, and right, so nothing else. And space to use stuff. But yeah, this is it, 5 buttons. But with these 5 buttons, we've tried to create an experience that has more depth. So, for example, when you fly down, you accelerate. When you fly up, you lose speed. there is an air cushion if you fly close to the ground. So it's a good idea to fly close to the ground and kind of use the terrain to your example, to your advantage. Pardon my
No, I
Bulgarian.
got you.
So, yeah, and yeah, so like if you see a big hill, it's a good idea to kind of ride the hill upwards and then go down, and this is kind of what makes it satisfying. And most people in the beginning, they kind of try to stay away from the ground because the ground is scary, obviously. Yeah, I can't blame them. And they're like, as soon as they go high, the plane kind of starts to drift down because it doesn't have that much lift in the wings. And people are like, oh no, I'm falling down, so I have to do something about it. And then they point the nose up, and then the wings start acting as a brake, and then they lose their momentum, and therefore they lose also their lift in the wings. So the plane starts to fall faster, and they're like, oh no, I'm still falling. So they kind of point the nose up even more, and then they stop even more, and then the game is like, you know what? It's not gonna work, and then the plane just nosedives and they fall to the ground. So a lot of people in their first time experience, I see this happening a lot. And then I see what else? I see when they kind of they're like, okay, yeah, I'm flying close to the ground, that's okay. And then they find a jump, and then they kind of take off from that jump, and then they keep the plane like that, and it just kind of starts to lose speed and drift slowly, and then they reach the ground, but they've lost all of their momentum. Where when you jump, you have to kind of feel the right moment to tip down the plane and kind of go down, so you can gather your momentum back and even go further, faster. So this is one of the things you have to learn about flight. And another one is in Lifeslide, you're gonna have to make quick decisions. So we have these two entities, it's time and matter, and time and matter are rarely on the same path. So time is basically, you have a timer, and your health and time are kind of the same. So time is running out, but if you bump into things, you are also punished by some time. And we have matter, which is basically the in-game currency, which allows you to purchase upgrades, new planes, and soon we are going to also have additional skins. And maybe further down the road after release, we will add more things to purchase. By the way, no microtransactions or anything. It's just a premium game. Yeah, so you have to keep choosing between time and matter. If you don't have time, you have to go for time. And if you're full on time, then it's a good idea to collect matter, because at some point, if you don't upgrade, you're gonna find it very difficult to proceed forward. And these quick decisions that you have to make are sometimes detrimental for some people, because they see the time at the last possible minute, because they're like too focused on their plane or something, and they're like not looking ahead, not planning their routes, and the game branches a lot. So there is like a branch in front of you with on one side is time and on another side is matter, and they decide to make a sharp turn right at the very last second to collect one or the other. And this is what kind of kills their speed and momentum, because if you make a sharp turn, you don't have an engine for the plane. You only have gravity, and your momentum is going to decrease. So yeah, you have to kind of learn to stay close to the ground. You have to learn to respect gravity and know how it can help you and how it can also keep you from reaching your goals. And also you have to make quick decisions. You have to not make sharp turns, but also you have to think fast and make like small quick corrections so that you don't bump into things. So yeah, there is some sort of challenge. You have to upgrade. You have to keep upgrading. You're gonna die in this game. You're definitely gonna be dying. This is how it is designed. It is meant for you to die. Not too much, I hope, but yeah. So this is kind of it. It's not super. It's targeted for the mid-core audience. It's not hardcore, not a hardcore game by any means, but if you give it to somebody who's never played games before, they're gonna have a hard time.
Yeah. Now you mentioned a lot about the physics. I heard the physics. You got real detail with the physics. How deep did it go for the physics? Is that something that, did it take a lot more time than you thought? Because it seems like, even when you mention a plane sitting up like this and, especially the gravity, coming down, not having the wind, almost like a brake you mentioned. How does all the physics work? Was that something simple for you? Or was that something that was pretty difficult to do?
So I never had a good grade in physics in school at school. So it's not an accurate physical simulation. There is some physics there, but I haven't taken like actual formulas from actual paper, not paper plane, but any kind of aircraft flight studies. We just kind of use the engine's physics properties and we mix them with some arcade stuff. So it's we thought about a lot of things in the game, but we didn't like actually use an accurate physical model. It's not a real simulation. But for example, if you go over lava, because there's like at one point there is lava, if you go over it because the lava makes the air hot, you're gonna get a hot updraft and it's gonna push you up. Things like that. So we've taken some stuff into account. But yeah, there is like no accurate physics formulas inside. It's just
Okay, I have a question about that. There will be a pattern per level, or it depends on the artificial intelligence of each level.
Sorry, what can you ask?
There will be a pattern per level, or depends on the artificial intelligence of each level to reach the level, because you asked of the physics of the level, and you have to think fast. So there will be a pattern per level, or you have to be so intelligent to reach the level.
You mean if there is some sort of pattern that I have to learn in order? No. Levels are branching. There are different paths, but you don't have like a wrong or right path. You have to kind of go in the moment, and things are also randomized each time. It's a procedurally generated game. Its procedure is generated out of different segment chunks, and each segment is created by hand, and we have set some randomization inside it. So, and in these segments are also kind of reordered every time you start the game. So if you die and you keep respawning on the same level, the level is going to be different. It's not going to be the same. It's going to be randomized. So there is definitely not a pattern. You have to kind of just figure it out. You have to learn how to use the mechanics of each level to your advantage, or to avoid the dangers in each level. So yeah, it's definitely not a pattern. You don't you don't memorize the levels, and we didn't want this to happen, so that's why we made it randomized and procedural.
That sounds so fun. Thank you.
Oh, hey, you know what? And Mitko, you've been great. I got two more questions, and I'm gonna be out, okay? Because you've been killing it. Your answers are just smashing it. I'm gonna be honest. So I'm gonna say, Mitko, first, you mentioned about wanting to get into the Steam store and a lot about working on PC and the transition over to Apple. How is the process going right now, getting into that Steam store? Is that something that seems like it's going to be, a little more extended than you thought? Or is it something that seems, going to be coming sooner than you think?
Nah, man, I gotta tell you, going into Steam was so easy. It was like, bam, and we're already approved and we're ready for release. We can just, click the button to release it anytime. It was super easy. But truth be told, I'm just not. Yeah, I think I look better, a little bit better now. The sun is rising and it's just
I seen it come in. I did.
So it was very easy, but all the time we've been developing it for Apple. We have been developing it on Windows machines. So the game was constantly running on Windows already. And for Steam, we just had to, kind of include the Steam SDK so that we can like work with the Steam user, with friends, with not that we're currently using friends, but we're using Steam achievements. And then like we had to be able to open the Steam overlay if you, we have to be able to pause the game when the Steam overlay is open, stuff like that. But yeah, the QA and Steam, they work really quickly. They when we submit a game, they really quickly
Nice.
get back to us with feedback, what's wrong, what's right, and they tell us, guys, there are several requirements that you have to cover, and then there are some recommendations for you, and they give us the recommendations and requirements, and then we're like, okay, yeah, we're gonna fix it. We submit a new build, and then we're up. So yeah, on Steam it was very easy. We're also currently porting it on Nintendo Switch, but this is gonna happen next year. And this was also this was also easier than expected, at least in our case. Like, we got the game running really quickly on the dev unit, and there are some issues with performance and with graphical glitches, but nothing too serious. I think we're gonna be able to ace that very quickly. From what I've seen working with Steam and Nintendo, was like super easy for us.
No, nice. And Mitko, my YouTube subscribers, when you said Nintendo Switch, the reason I did that dance, I'm about close. We're close to about 2,700 subscribers, but the majority of them is off Nintendo Switch videos. So I heard Nintendo Switch, and I just had to do the dance. So the last question, and I'm out of here, Mitko, how could someone like myself, a YouTuber, or anyone be able to demo, get Lifeslide, maybe on a wish list? What is something that you would tell everyone to look forward to or to do to get Lifeslide?
So for you guys, especially, I'm gonna provide you Steam keys. So don't rush to leave. I'm just gonna send you 2 Steam keys right away. But here's the news. During this E3 on June 12th, when it opens up for the public, we are releasing a public demo on Steam. Everybody else can wish list the game on Steam, the full game. It's going to release on August 6th, so this is a big date. But yeah, we're releasing a public demo where everybody can get their hands on. We are showcasing several of the first level in the game from the story mode. We are also the demo is going to include 2 different planes, so they can try it. They're not super different from each other, but like they are 2 different planes. We have some upgrades to some extent. Each of the plane stats that you have in a game can be improved twice, and in the full game you can improve each of the stats 7 times. So this is kind of what the demo is going to contain, and it's going to be out on June 12th with our we are going to make a big Twitch stream event at night, so that it's like not super late in America. And yeah, we're gonna do it, and we're gonna release the demo then, so that everybody can start playing it.
Oh man, Mitko, you're the man. Go ahead, take
it. Sorry. For the Nintendo, did you say Nintendo Switch? There will be a mod with the Switch controls.
Yeah. So yeah, we are currently working on the game to support the Joy-Cons. They are fully supported, like the thumbsticks, the buttons. That's okay. But we are also probably gonna add motion controls so that you can control it with tilt. Personally, for me, this is one of the definitive ways to play it. I've been playing it like that on mobile, on iOS for Apple Arcade. Most people on Apple Arcade, I don't know if this most mobile users or it's just not a good control. I'm not sure about that. But most people don't play it with accelerometer. But I personally like the feel of playing it with accelerometer because you are able to feel the terrain beneath you, the slope, the angle, and this is something that I think is gonna be nice to have on Switch. So this is we're gonna definitely work for that. We're also we got the Switch Pro controller, so we're gonna make sure we support the Switch Pro controller as well. And this is pretty much it.
I'm smiling right now so much.
Oh man,
and I like very much the game.
Mitko, I'm glad that was it for me. I'm not gonna leave just yet, like I said, but I'm gonna stop. I have my recording going. You know, I'm so excited. So I appreciate
Absolutely.
everything. I'm glad to hear about Dreamteck and the team. All 8 are doing well. CEO Mitko, you're the man. I'm gonna stop my recording now, but appreciate it.
Okay.
Okay. No, you know what, Mitko? Now, since I have a bit of time, what is your favorite 5 games? If you had to pick 5 of your favorite games that you like to play, what would be your 5
Mm-hmm.
favorite games?
Okay, so let me just post the keys. So Nick, this is you can take the first key, and I'm sorry I didn't get your name. How was uh, can you the second guy? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You got what was your name? Sorry.
It's still there. I think.
Okay. What was your name? I forgot your name.
Ilvi
Sorry.
Camina. Ilvi
Can you?
Camina.
We can mean.
It's a Aztec name. Was an emperor. You can tell me Ilwi or Richard. Richard is my first name, but I like more my ancest's name, Ilwi.
Got it. Yeah.
You can call me Ilwi. Don't worry.
Okay. So Nick, you get the first key, and Ilwi, you'll get the second key, so that you don't get a mix-up. And yeah. All right. So what were we? Yeah, my favorite games. Okay. So you're gonna be surprised. They have nothing to do with relaxing experience. Yeah. So one of my all-time favorite games is Half-Life 2. I was just mesmerized when it came out in 2004. I actually didn't get to play it until 2005, late 2005, things like that, something like that, maybe even 2006. But I was like completely sold. I couldn't take my eyes off it. Back then I was like 12 or something, and like, oh my god, that was so amazing for me. So Half-Life 2 is definitely an amazing. It's mostly first-person shooters actually.
Same here.
I'm gonna say.
I'm curious.
Yeah. I'm also gonna say Rayman 3. It's I miss the 3D Rayman games. The new games are awesome, but Rayman 3 was like it was such a nice experience, and I got to replay it. I got to replay it like a year ago maybe with my sister. Like the good old times we decided to kind of gather in front of the TV and just do a PlayStation. It was so cool. So Half-Life, Rayman 3. Oh, by the way, Half-Life Alex, I would say I tried it on VR. I got a VR. This was absolutely amazing and absolutely an amazing experience. And yeah, Half-Life Alex got me. I was alone at home playing it, and there was like the last level where I had to like fight a strider, and I got this giant, rocket launcher or something, which I kind of had to point with my hands, and kind of if I got this hand and pulled it back, then it made it shoot, and the feel of that was so nice. So there was like tactile feedback. It was so nice. It got me screaming at home. I was like home alone playing this, and I was like, heck yeah, come on. And so
I gotta ask, now you're on Half-Life, what are you playing that on VR? Because I right now I got a Windows Mixed Reality headset, and I'm thinking about trying it, but you convinced me. Should I just go ahead and get an Oculus? Okay, should I just throw the Windows Mixed Reality? What are you playing on where you get the best experience?
Yeah, so I'm playing with Oculus Quest, which is actually amazingly really good. But if you want to play on PC, I'd suggest getting the Rift. We have a Rift as well, and the Rift is lighter. First of all, it's lighter. The image is way clearer because the Quest it uses video compression in order to get the whole information through this tiny USB-C cable, whilst the Rift has a DisplayPort cable, which you just directly plug it. And most people don't notice the compression, but for me, I can see it. It's not super clear. So I played on Oculus, and the games I've played so far, I got a couple of Oculus Quest only titles, which weren't so impressive, but there was like how was it called? There was like a Zen gardening game, like something like Juji or something. I'm not sure what it was. It was a nice experience, but it wasn't anything like super special. Yeah, but definitely recommend Half-Life Alex, and I definitely recommend Beat Saber. But if you're gonna play Beat Saber, you should get the Rift definitely, because for the Quest, it just doesn't. It's the movement of the controllers is not super smooth, and it's kind of choppy. I don't know. It doesn't feel choppy, but when you start moving really
Beat Saber,
quickly,
quick,
then yeah, and Rift does that perfectly, but the Quest, it kind of causes me to miss some of the the blocks in Beat Saber. So these two games I've been in love with. I love playing them. I haven't spent a lot of time in VR games in general. We tried different games, like we tried The Walking Dead. I didn't like it that much, but it was also cool. I love how people are coming up with ideas for interfaces. Like, for example, in Walking Dead, you have this backpack and then you put stuff directly in it. Things like that. And for Half-Life Alyx, when you collect things, you just put them over your shoulder, and that's amazing.
That is cool.
Yeah. So VR is great for me, but I haven't spent that much time in it. I've been spending some time with the Oculus Quest, because Oculus Quest is, you don't need a computer, you just put it on and you're in the matrix. I've been spending some time in this big screen app, which is basically like lounges with people who can chat and they can dance together and they can kind of interact with each other and they can draw. And usually there is something playing in the background, like a movie, songs, concerts, stuff like that. And that's what I've been. Yeah.
You've just convinced me. Oh my gosh. I did not know it was that, I was into it at first. I had the Windows Mixed Reality headset. I was playing a couple games, I must admit. I think I played The Plank, a couple other scary games where I was in there. I got the feel of being on top of a ceiling. It did feel, but no. You're saying everything I'm talking about. You're talking about throwing the weapons in your shoulder and pulling them back. You convinced me. I think I'm just going to probably have to get an Oculus and a Rift. I'm probably going to have to do both. So, Mitko, thank you. I just want to thank you for that. Thank you.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's a great experience. And to get back to the question with the games, I'd say a couple of more games. Two more games, I'd say, that kind of really got into me. So the first one is Sonic Heroes. I'm saying old games, but this is what shaped my childhood. So I'd say Sonic Heroes. This is a game I really loved to play as a child. I loved it. Right now, it doesn't hold up that well when I try it, but it was something I really enjoyed back then. The colors, the theme, the feel. When I was a kid, I was like, come on, let's go get Eggman. We're Sonic Heroes. Come on, and with the songs and everything, it was just awesome. The soundtrack of Sonic Heroes. I think this is something that kind of inspired the Lifeslide soundtrack, because they had very, very unique soundtracks for each level. When I personally loved the soundtrack for this game. In each level, it was so well made. So it was contributing so well to the environments of each level. So And finally, I'd say Far Cry 3. It was something that I was like blown away.
I have to give you Far Cry 3 is still one. Now, not my buddy, not me. I got a friend, and he knows who he is. I'm going to send him this. He screams Far Cry 3 about everything. The best ever. If you play it on a PC and you can max out the graphics, oh my gosh, it's the best experience in the world. So I will have to agree with you there. And, I know about the childhood thing. Me, myself, I was Final Fantasy VII, Earthbound, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Earthbound.
Earthbound, one of my favorite games of all time, just because it was the first time I was coming home from school and I was just going at games and I'm just, it was so many different characters. Then you're like, is this character good, bad? They start it's just an all around great RPG. I don't get to play too many good RPGs because it takes a lot of time. But Final Fantasy VII, Earthbound, and I would probably say my number one game that I probably played that gave me the most shocking experience was BioShock. I remember playing BioShock by myself and just sucked it all in, and I felt like I lived in rapture for a year. So that I can say I sucked in. So no, and Mitko, I thank you, and I don't even want to go, man, but I thank you so much. I will scream this to everyone on my YouTube channel to check Lifeslide out. I will. And you said, what was the date one more time? That was August.
Yeah, August 6th.
August 6th. Okay. I want to make sure to have that down. But I'm out of here, guys. Man, it was such a pleasure. Mitko,
It was a blast.
I'll message you, on the side. I'll just message you and we'll stay in touch.
Absolutely, yeah, with pleasure. If you haven't dropped a business card, you can do that as well. So we can, yeah.
I'm doing it immediately, Mitko. I'm doing it. I'm not even doing it. You first interview, I just felt like you just made everything. I'm not gonna get better than this, Mitko. So you killed it. I got you.
So glad, man. Yeah, it was a blast. Truly, I just, your energy and everything was like so nice.
No, you're matching it. You're matching it. So I can't say it's me. It's kind of you too, and it's both of us. But Mitko, I appreciate it, man. I'll talk to you guys later.